Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with a unique video and I want to take a look back at a phone a lot of people don't even know exists, the BlackBerry Leap. So one of the things that BlackBerry did when they had their BlackBerry 10 devices was they threw a couple of different phones out there towards the end of their lifespan before they decided to terminate Canex and move on to their Android device, which is the Priv, and ultimately the licensing agreements that were spurred off at the end of their lifespan. Well, here we are with the BlackBerry Leap, effectively a very large BlackBerry Z10, which went from having a 4.2-inch screen to a 5-inch screen with the exact same internals. But there never really were a whole lot that were produced, and it wasn't a very successful phone. But I do want to go ahead and talk about it and dive in and take a closer look now in 2020. Now, before we get into that, I do want to say that if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate it. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates on the latest videos when they come out. Now, let's take a look at the Leap. So before we get into the BlackBerry Leap, it's important to understand some of the things that were going on in technology in 2014 and the beginning of 2015. So BlackBerry 10 came out in 2013 and they released their very first phone, the BlackBerry Z10. It was a departure from the keyboard. It was a successor to the BlackBerry Storm, which was utterly terrible, and they went back to the drawing board, and this phone got bumped back and bumped back and bumped back because BlackBerry 10 wasn't ready yet. And I actually had waited for so long, I went ahead and I bought the Samsung Galaxy S3 thinking that the new BlackBerry 10 was never going to come out. I waited for so long. 6 months after I get my Samsung Galaxy S3, I was able to finally get my hands on the Z10. I totally loved it, other than the fact that there was no third-party apps that were available that were worth anything. So enter BlackBerry 10, 4.2-inch screen, 720p resolution, 8 megapixel camera, 2 megapixel selfie camera on the front, 16 gigabytes of storage, 2 gigabytes of RAM. On paper, it had the recipe for success in the year 2013. The iPhone was still rocking a 4-inch screen, and they weren't too far out ahead yet that this phone wasn't possibly a contender to get BlackBerry back on the market a little bit. Well, as 2013 progressed, turned into 2014, the Z10s were returned in droves. They really didn't do all that well. So 2014 was a big year when it came to phones. They had the Samsung Galaxy S4, they had the iPhone 6, which finally adopted the larger phone model and then also brought in the Plus model. LG was firing on all cylinders with the G3. You had the Sony Z3 that came in, which was the first mainstream phone that had IP67 water resistance and was waterproof. And then the Passport came out. So there was a lot of exciting things going on in the phone world, and then you enter January of 2015 and you get the BlackBerry Leap. Now, the Z10 was never really all that attractive outside of the initial people that bought it. So what happens in the phone world is a year or two later, people expect a new phone to come out. Well, nobody wanted a phone with the 4.2-inch screen anymore. Everyone had moved into the phablet world, 5-inch screens or higher with reduced bezels, and BlackBerry's answer was the BlackBerry Leap. So it didn't really leap too far because as soon as it came out the gate, it already had 2-year-old specs. Mostly the difference between the Z10 and the Leap is the fact that the phone is bigger. It has a larger screen. They have the exact same internals. It has the same front-facing camera, it has the same primary shooter, it has the same processor, the same memory. Everything is the same except for the screen size and of course the battery, because it needed a larger battery. Other than that, you could basically call this the Z10 Plus. Now, it wasn't technically a bad phone, and it was only like $279 American when it came out, so it wasn't trying to compete with the newer, more expensive, flashier flagship phones that were out. It was just trying to expand the marketplace share that BlackBerry 10 devices had, and in hopes that maybe this would pick up in areas outside the US or Canada. And since it was so low of a price point, people would hopefully adopt it, and unfortunately that didn't really happen. This was the last true new model phone that BlackBerry manufactured under the BlackBerry 10 operating system. It came with the latest and greatest BlackBerry 10.3.2, or if depending on region, some people say 10.3.2. But the overall craftsmanship and the design on this phone is actually really nice. It's got this nice dimpled back on it. It's very rugged. It's got a rubberized feel to it with the glass that extends across the entire top of the phone. You have the LED flash, you have the 8 megapixel camera. It says right there, of course, 8 megapixel with autofocus. It has the really cool looking BlackBerry font that they use. And then you can see the BlackBerry logo is here, right smack dab in the middle of the phone. It was charged by a micro USB. You even got the speaker down here on the back, which was uncharacteristic of BlackBerry phones at the time, which had front-facing speakers. So they did a lot of cool things with it. It's very rugged. It looks sleek. It still has the top power button. It has the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. And then you have the front-facing selfie camera there, which of course is 2 megapixels like I had mentioned. So BlackBerry 10, all fun, swipe gestures. It was a really cool operating system at the time, I thought. I thought it was really good. It was very effective. It was really efficient. You could do everything. All you had to do was just swipe up to get to the home screen. You could swipe up and over. You could use what was called the peek feature. Even with other BlackBerry 10 devices, you had the pop-up notifications where you could reply to messages, which was something that actually iPhone and the Apple operating system, iOS, and Android adopted later on. So BlackBerry, it's funny, it was criticized so harshly back in the day for having this all swipe gesture platform, and now here we are in 2020 with Android 10 and its full swipe gesture support. So you swipe up to close apps, you swipe up and over to get to where your app menus are at. You have the pop-up notifications, which of course have been around for a long time, but a lot of these things were already existing on BlackBerry 10 before they ever came out on Apple or Android. So there was a lot of things going on. It was just the lack of adoption and the app support. It wasn't cool. It wasn't flashy. You could never watch Netflix. You could never get a native Instagram client. And it was really good at being efficient. It was great at being a communication platform. You had all of your stuff assembled into one area within the hub, which today still works well on the BlackBerry 10 devices. So it wasn't that they didn't try or they didn't make a good product. It just, by that point in time with the BlackBerry Leap, that ship had sailed. Overall, it's a nifty little device. I wanted one a long time ago because I had the other BlackBerry phones. You know, I had the Z10. I still have my original one, which I showed in the video. I had several Q10s. I had the Classic. I had the Passport. I had the Z30. So I always wanted this to add to my collection, and I found it the other day on eBay. I bought it brand new for like 75 bucks, and it's cool. I've had some fun playing with it. It really doesn't work very well anymore outside of the core functions. The browser is pretty much broken. The App Store is pretty much gutted. You can't buy anything on there anymore. Fortunately, I still have a bunch of apps that I downloaded a long time ago, so they're still available in my library, but you can't even get those anymore. So I had some fun times going down memory lane, playing like my Kiwi Wonder game and a couple of other things that were on there. But by and large, it's basically an ineffective device at this point. You can still use it for texting, you can still use it for phone calls, you still get your 4G signal. The browser hasn't been updated in so long. It's very slow with loading things, especially when it comes to like GIFs. Those won't even work really. So you can still access like Twitter and Facebook via the browser, but they're very, very limited and it's slow and clunky. But the native apps that are on here still work okay. It's nothing that I would recommend to anyone nowadays for using, but I just wanted to take some time and show off this phone because I always thought that it was cool. I always wanted one just as part of my collection, and here we are with the BlackBerry Leap in 2020. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully you've liked the trip down memory lane and an opportunity to look at this device that a lot of people don't know existed or have never got an opportunity to see one, even if they knew about it. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, like I said in the beginning, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos when they come out. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.